When you're in court, you're an officer of the court if you're a lawyer. And one of the most important things a lawyer has is integrity and honesty. And I think that Paul imparts an important value system on his office that trickles down in terms of the various members of his office. And that because the deputies that are in court, besides just Paul, because he's in court as well, but they're all a face, they're all an arm, they're all a branch of the office. And I think he makes it abundantly clear how important it is in terms of honesty and integrity. Because I think everything else, if you don't have those two virtues, I think everything else, it just doesn't really matter. Because you can learn certain aspects of the law, you can learn, research and look at the statutes, look at the case law, develop trial skills. But if you're not honest, you don't have integrity, and especially the district attorney's office, because they are the people of the state of California. They have a much higher burden in terms of their conduct in court because, it's supposed to be about justice. It's not supposed to be about retaliation or retribution or anything like that. If you're a prosecutor, it shouldn't be about making tallies as to wins and losses and personal sort of gain in terms of your ego.
One of the key reasons why you really can't think about that is a couple of reasons. The first thing is sometimes you're wrong. You start off with a case and you think it's something, and then you get more information. And you can say, well, I need to win. This is why I said it was. It has to say that. So you either suppress that evidence or you disregard it. Both would be wrong. If what you're really supposed to be doing and what you're trying to do is at least work towards something that reflects the truth, to find the truth and to disclose the truth. So that's the first part. The other part is if all you want to do is win, then what you're probably going to do that is either be deceptive like that earlier part, or you're going to only take on easy cases. You'll take on nothing tough, nothing that is challenging. There are two things that will go, is either your honesty or your boldness, your courage, because they have to go if you're going to win, because you'll never do anything that takes any courage. You'll never try any tough cases, and you'll be dishonest everywhere you can to make sure that you're there. You're being dishonest in the charging or somewhere along the line. So you can't do that. And that's every part of your life. If a dispute, argument, disagreement you have with a friend, loved one, you have to win all the time. Where are you ever getting to the truth? Where are you ever figuring out what the truth is, what's right? You need to have balance. There should be a certain amount of wins you are achieving, because that reflects your judgment in charging. It reflects your judgment going to trial. But it cannot be your focus anymore. Well, it cannot be your focus. It's the ascertainment of truth that has to be your focus. I live in this community. I am invested in this community, if only for my own interest, my wife's interest, and my kids' interest. Why would I want it to be anything other than safe and just, and a society where people can live and prosper?
Well, Paul, as a by the by, is the hardest working prosecutor I've ever seen. I've never seen a DA take cases and go into a courtroom and try them. Most of the cases I do have always resulted in a success rate of resulting in a conviction of the defendant. And normally what I'll do is I'll take a case and I'll review it and think about the trial strategy, and most times I'll run it through Paul and use him as a sounding board, and he gives me direction, and I go in the courtroom and we win them.
Paul is a great supervisor. He's a great manager of the office. He's a great trial attorney, a tremendous resource. almost without fail, whether it's a serious life sentence murder case or a simple misdemeanor case. Paul will provide advice, guidance, and counseling to the attorney, and typically will be able to think of an angle or an approach to the case that the attorney just has not thought of. And so he's very actively involved. He talks to all the attorneys, has meetings with them, goes over their cases. He has an open door policy. He's very, very, very approachable. He does all that in addition to carrying a fairly heavy caseload himself by trying some of the most serious cases, like Andrew Blunt, which was a child molestation case, and most recently People versus Jasnos, which was a case where a person victimized his stepdaughters and received a 422-year sentence. So he manages to get all of those, balance all of those tasks very, very effectively.
Well, pretty much Paul's hired experienced prosecutors, and over the last 3.5 to 4 years, I've noticed more qualified, what I deem to be more qualified courtroom lawyers rather than people who stay in an office and just shuffle papers. So he has a good eye for talent, and he's gone out and recruited the very best people he can based on our salary structure to come up here to Humboldt County and present the cases and somewhat make it a little bit safer for the people to walk the streets of Humboldt County.
Invariably, in any campaign, every campaign, people try to get people scared and worried. And invariably what we hear is people thought the specter of us not caring about women or children. Of course, they're emotional subjects for all of us. But I also understand that it's a tactic that people try because they know that people respond emotionally. But the thing with the law is the law sets those priorities and the law sets the sentences. And my obligation, my job is to respect the law and apply the law. So while I may have, and certainly we do everything without reservation, everything within the power of the law to bring anyone that offends people, women and children, certainly, and elderly, or anyone, to justice. But we also can't, once again, you operate within the confines of the law. Women and children, without a doubt, are our priority. But they don't get a different set of protections. They get no more, no less protections than is provided for in law.